Hi friends, Dr. Lewis here. We are going to be working on this standard, which is 4th grade, Measurement and Data, A because it's the first of that group of measurement data standards, and 1 because it's the first of the A group. Today we're going to be talking about using measurement tools to convert mixed number measurements to smaller units. So we're going to go over a couple of vocabulary words and a couple of things before we get started on any practice today. So first we're going to start with this word convert. We've been working on converting measurements in other units, and so I just wanted to come back to this one. I can use measurement tools to convert mixed number measurements to smaller units. If we are converting measurements to smaller units, we are changing them. So convert means to change. So if we were going to replace that in our target, it would say, I can use measurement tools to convert or change. I can use measurement tools to change mixed number measurements to smaller units. Okay, so the next vocabulary word that we're going to explore, again, this is a review for us, is a mixed number. A mixed number is sometimes called a mixed fraction. You can hear them used either way, they mean the same thing. A mixed number or a mixed fraction is a whole number and a fraction. For example, if I have 3 of these little boxes here, okay, and I break each box into 4 pieces. And I shade in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of those boxes. I actually have 9 fourths because these are cut into fourths, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Another way to think of that is this is 1 whole box filled in plus 1 whole box filled in plus 1 fourth box filled in. And 1 plus 1, of course, is 2, and we're left with 1 fourth. So again, that's just some review for us about what mixed numbers or mixed fractions are. And the next thing that we're going to look at is we are going to look at what it means to actually convert measurements to smaller units. So units, that just means what does the number represent? So if I have, for example, 3 feet or 3 feet, the unit is this, feet, because it is what the number represents. So that's our unit. That could be minutes, hours, seconds, days. It could be pounds, it could be ounces, it could be gallons or quarts. The unit is what the number represents. So if we're talking about measurement units going from larger to smaller measurement units, let's think about it this way. We have miles. Those are pretty large, right? The next jump down for us would be yards. The next jump down from yards would be feet. And then the next jump down from feet would be inches. So we start with our larger unit, it's miles here, and then we're left with our smaller unit, which is inches here. So we're going to be working on converting larger units to smaller units. But we're going to be using mixed numbers to do that. So one of the ways that we're going to be doing that is by using a tape diagram. A tape diagram. So what I'm going to do for you guys is I'm going to draw a tape diagram that represents 1 foot. All right. So here's my tape diagram, and this represents 1 foot. Okay. So I'm going to break this foot down into inches. And I'm going to show you exactly how I'm going to do that. I'm going to use this tape diagram. I'm going to compare it to this line here. It's going to be similar to a ruler. And in 1 foot is how many inches? It's 12. So this would be 0 inches, 1 inch, 2 inches, 3 inches, 4 inches, 5, 6 inches, 7 inches, 8 inches, 9 inches, 10 inches, 11 inches, and then we end at 12 inches. So I'm going to label those. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I was able to break that apart because I looked at the foot like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I was able to use this tape diagram to demonstrate that 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. Of course, this is not to scale, this is just a diagram. Okay, so if we were going to be looking at this tape diagram and this line right here, we would need to be able to see that 6/12 foot, or 6/12 of a foot, equals how many inches? 6/12 of a foot is how many inches? Well, let's refer back to our tape diagram. This is our foot broken into inches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 inches are in 1 foot. So 6 of those inches would be 6/12 of a foot. So let's shade those in. 1/12, 2/12, 3/12, 4/12, 5/12, 6/12. We also know that 6/12 is 1/2 foot. These are equivalent. 6/12 foot is the same as 1/2 foot. So how many inches is that? Where did we end up landing? On 6 inches. So 6/12 of a foot, or 1/2 of a foot, is equal to 6 inches. Awesome. So what if we were asked about a bigger mixed number? Let's go back to our tape diagram. I know that a yard is 3 feet. So I'm going to draw my tape diagram like this. I'm going to draw it a little bit bigger. So let's say this is 1 yard. Okay, this represents 1 yard. That means if we look down here at our line, how many feet do we have in 1 yard? Starting here, we have 0 feet. Next is 1 foot, 2 feet, 3 feet are in a yard. But what if I had two yards? How many feet would that be? Be another 3, right? Okay. So if I was asked 1 1/3 yard, remember that's the abbreviation for yard, equals how many feet? What would I need to look at? Pause this video and see if you can work it out on your own and come back and see if you were correct. All right, so 1 1/3 yard is how many feet? Well, 1 whole yard is 1, 2, 3 feet. And 1/3 yard is over here, because if this whole thing is a yard, broken into feet, 1, 2, 3 feet make a yard, and I have 1 whole yard and 3 feet. How many feet is that? 1 foot here, 2 feet here, 3 feet here, and that's right, 4 feet here. So 1 1/3 yard equals 4 feet. Awesome. Let's try it with a different unit. Let's look at capacity. So we all know that gallons are the largest unit that we've been working with capacity. So if this represented 1 gallon, and I was looking at the next smallest unit down, the next smallest unit down would be quarts, right? How many quarts are in 1 gallon? That's right. There are 4 quarts in a gallon. There's 0 right there. 1 quart, 2 quarts, 3 quarts, 4 quarts. Okay, so if that is true, what if I had 5 3/4 gallon? Remember, that's the abbreviation for gallon. How many quarts would that be? Now, we know that 1 quart is 1/4 of a gallon, because this is 1 quart and it's only, that's 1 quart. That's 1 out of 4 parts of that gallon. This tells us that we have 5 gallons and 3/4 of a gallon. So 5 gallons, remember from our work from last week, if you have 1 gallon, that's 4 quarts. If you have 2 gallons, that's 4 quarts times 2 gallons, that's 8 quarts. if you have 3 gallons, that's 3 gallons times 4 quarts in a gallon, that's 12 quarts. What if you have 5 gallons? What if you have 5 gallons? That's right, that's 20 quarts. So we know that this 5 gallons, that will give us 20 quarts. But what about this 3/4 gallon? What about this little guy right here, 3/4 gallon? Well, check this out. 1/4 gallon is 1 quart. 2/4 of a gallon is 2/4 of a gallon is 2 quarts. That means 3/4 of a gallon is how many quarts? 3 quarts. Put those together. These 20 quarts from the 5 gallons plus the 3/4 gallon, which is 1, 2, 3 quarts. Put those together and you get 23 quarts. So friends, you are going to be working with numbers like this in your lessons for the rest of the week. And I don't want you to be afraid just because they're mixed numbers. Fractions aren't scary. They're tricky, but they're not scary. Remember, please still use the RDW strategy. Remember, RDW stands for read, draw, write. You're also going to be using the cubes strategy. Remember from our work earlier this week that cubes, you find it in my notebook, oops, had it. That cubes stands for how we solve word problems. Again, RDW is one, cubes is another. You might use cubes in your work this week, working on some of these problems. So remember, you might need to circle key numbers, underline the question, box math action words, evaluate by asking yourself, what steps should I take? And then solving and checking. You're going to be doing all of that stuff, all of that wonderful math work in order to meet this learning target. I can use measurement tools to convert mixed number measurements to smaller units, moving from those larger units down to smaller units. You are going to crush it this week. I can't wait to see what you do. Have a great day.